All right, hey, Shalom Akim. Coming out here again, prophesy the downfall of America, aka known as Babylon the Great, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt. Okay, according to the Bible, biblical prophecy. I'm here to wake up the nation of Israel, who are the Negro Latinos, the Native American Indians, to contrary to common belief that the Jews over there in Israel are the Israelites of God's chosen people, which is a lie. All right, that's why I said contrary to today's beliefs, that's wrong. Okay, so we're here to wake up the nation of Israel, the Negro Latinos, the Native American Indians. Okay, I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to all you brothers out there doing the work and sincerity and truth, striving for the hopeful elect, enduring all afflictions and seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling, holding on to the truth with all thy strength and might, man, which basically means that you love the Lord with all thy heart, might, and strength. All right, so I don't really have anything to talk about. There's many things to talk about, but really I'm just gonna let the spirit flow. There are things that I'll have on my mind, referring to going into brothers, the brotherhood, how you're supposed to be, and how you're not supposed to be justifying yourself. You got a lot of guys in the truth that, I'm saying guys because that's exactly what you're acting like. You're acting like somebody that's outside of the, even though you're in the circle, that doesn't mean that you're actually there. Okay, because when you come into the truth, there's a certain way, conduct, and a behavior you're supposed to protrude towards the brothers, man. Okay, the scriptures say the greater thou art, the more humble thyself is. Now, if you're around brothers making comments, trying to belittle a brother, or trying to test a brother, that's going off, man. I don't give a fuck what you have to say or any brother has to say about that shit. You should not be trying to test no brother. You should not be trying to belittle no brother. Okay? That shit's of the world. And you could say that's what Israel does. No, that's what, not according to the Most High. The Most High never did that shit. Yahweh Shai never did shit like that. He never clowned on the disciples, man. All right? He treated them with the utmost respect. He showed them that what he was about. Okay? Let me bring out one. Like I said, I don't really have anything to speak about, but that's been on my spirit, man. There's a lot of shit that's going on within GMS, and brothers are being tested. You know what I'm saying? You're actually being tested. The Lord is seeing where you're really at, because you have these big camps. Nobody's really been through nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And when me and the brother Yakawa were out here by ourselves, we're catching mad hell. All right, we're catching hell off the chain here in our city, man. And brothers would never understand. Brothers didn't understand why, because they weren't at that level. All right, through past years, maybe the apostles, Elder Tahar Gabar, all them the men over there in New York would know what we're going through. But new camps, y'all didn't know what we're going through. We were at a different level, man. Okay, you may be getting scoffers and mockers and certain people trying to start shit with you, but what we were actually going through was immediately. It was an immediate reaction, and it was we were targeted quickly. Okay, we're faced with adversity in every corner and aspect here in our city, man. With family, friends, people that we would work our jobs, always losing jobs, fighting to keep our jobs. It was a real test on what we were really about, man. And the test hasn't ended. But I see a lot of brothers, they're going through these motions that me and the brother we already went through. We've been out here by ourselves, man. We've been out here preaching solo. Well, I've been out here preaching solo. facing with certain people. You know, the Lord has toned it down a lot because the Most High is working in the spirit to where, man, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm gonna start out with 1 John. 1 John chapter 3. First John chapter 3 verse 9. Whosoever is born of the Most High doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of the Most High. In this the children of the Most High are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of the Most High, neither he that loveth not his brother. Okay? Because that's a big aspect that you have to fulfill to be a man of the Lord, is brotherly love. Right? On how you treat a brother. When I was in the world and I had friends, man, we would dog on each other, clown on each other, talk shit to each other, test each other, bump into each other, you know, play fight. You know, I never liked doing that though. Like I would talk shit because they would talk shit to me, but that wasn't my style, man. Because I had a form of respect developed in my mind on how we should treat one another, man. I was already on that brotherly love type tip, man. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that I was directing my love and my sincerity, all right, towards people that didn't deserve it. Because at the end, what did they all do? They fucking screwed me over. You know, women screwed me over. There's men here that were older than me, and we would speak, and they would listen to what I had to say. But I learned it from the scriptures that if I didn't end up with a woman or have a woman, that this was my woman. Even though I didn't really understand at the time that wisdom was likened unto a woman, though I would read, because there was many things I read, but through my subconscious, I was speaking what the Spirit had put on me. Okay? But the point is that when we come into this thing, we're fighting for this cause, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. The brotherhood is for that, for comfort, to lean upon one another. You know? To treat each other with the most up respect, man. Not to talk shit to each other and fighting. You know what I'm saying? If you got a lot of that quarreling and shit like that going on within your camp, maybe it's time to break up the camp. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time to split the camp up and have different brothers, select brothers that go with each other on their specific days that they choose to go out to preach the word in their city. You know? And let them manage that, because it's easier to manage a small group of people than it is a large group of people, man. I don't care how many brothers you have, how many soldiers, how many officers, all that stuff. You know? It's way easier controlling and managing things in smaller numbers. That's why the Most High sent the apostles out by twos, by pairs, man. And if they increase, they increase. But eventually, after they taught and they got to a certain level, they will break off. They will branch off because they were ready to be left alone. They were seasoned enough to be left alone. You know, you can't always keep your children underneath your wing, man, because then you're gonna have a lot of stuff going on. Like when you're around somebody when you're around people so often, all the time, you're bound to get on each other's nerves. But what do you do when that happens? You want to keep that relationship good. What do? You kind of separate from each other for a while. You know, you still love each other, but you know that you have to separate from y'all. So it doesn't mean that you don't love each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what people, I don't think the brotherly love thing, I don't think brothers really understand that, man. Because I know I can go to any brothers, I should be able to go to any brother in any city, in any state, and now have that brotherly love for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be around them every single day, every Saturday, for them to show that respect. I should not have to do that. You know? I should be able to go to any city, any state, and go to a brother and receive that brotherly love. Why? Because I'm a brother out here doing the work, man. You know? I'm out here doing the work for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And it would be vice versa. If a brother came down from a whole different state, city, it's going to be nothing but the utmost respect, man. All right? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even also you do. All right, so we have to comfort ourselves together, right, and edify one another, whether we're physically there or abroad, man, through epistles at the old times, and now we have the internet, which makes it way easier to be part of that. You know, you're gonna have less offenses, you're gonna have less grudging, because every brother has its own responsibilities, man. They're to grow. You know, it's just like keeping a son, you know, always trying to control him and always trying to keep him doing from what he wants to do. What's gonna happen? He's gonna rebel, he's gonna be pissed, he's gonna show agitation, irritation, because he's already turning into a man, you know, physically, you know, hormones and all that shit. Testosterone levels are going up. So what do, man? You have to eventually back away. Yeah, you can talk to him, but you can't be controlling him. You know, all his brothers, when we come into this truth, some point within a year, 2 years, you should be able to go out there in the highways and the byways and teach on your own, man. Especially if you have good examples and great leaders. Me and the brother that were out here, we didn't have nobody pushing it on us to go out and teach, man. We went out there because that's the Spirit of the Lord was on us to do that, man. You know, and for 3 years, we didn't have a camera. And you know what? I didn't care to have a camera because I didn't need to show anybody that we're doing the work. Because the Most High is my witness. The Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, is our witness that we've been out here doing the work for those 3 years, man, without the camera. You know? You gotta have that confidence and that brotherly love with sincerity when you come into this thing, man, with the utmost respect. Not always looking at your brother sideways, because all that shit's evil, man, with the evil eye. You know? Not saying that there's not going to be a red flags being thrown up. Yeah, there's going to be certain things that, you know, but not all the fucking time, man. Brothers got to breathe, man. Brothers got to eat. Brothers got to relax. You know what I'm saying? It says, and we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. Right, so you got to know who the brothers are that are out there been doing the work, man. And show those brothers the utmost respect. You know? Instead of always trying to be the man or trying to be somebody, trying to be over brothers. The greater you are, the more humble you are, man. You know? Some people don't know how to deal with authority. Some people don't. It's like got people that get put in high positions and jobs with leadership responsibilities. They don't know how to conduct themselves with the employees, man. You know? Now, if a motherfucker's going off and acting rebellious and being disrespectful, then yeah, you're going to have to turn it up and get on that ass. But speaking about brothers that have high positions, you don't even know how to govern over brothers, man. You know? It's more than just always spitting, you know, counsel. It's going to take a lot of just shutting up and listening, man. Listening to a brother. See where he's coming from. You don't see Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai coming down and talking shit to us all the time. He listens when we pray, when we give up our supplications, when we cry out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? It says, and to esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake, and be at peace among yourselves. And be at peace among yourselves, man. But to esteem them highly for the work's sake. They're doing the work, man. If they're doing the work, leave them alone. You know? Now, if they're going off, like I said, they're going a little bit veering to the left or too much to the right, whatever it may be, then yeah, you're going to be like, hey, I'll just get back over here a little bit. You know? That's it. But I believe that a lot of that quarreling and all that bickering and bitching and shit like that is because brothers are always around each other. You know what I'm saying? You're always around each other. You know how much more I remember experiencing this. I can't say for everybody else, but for me, when I wouldn't see like my cousins or friends for a while, a few days, whatever it may be, when we saw each other, we were happy. Or I was happy. I was happier to see them. You know? It was more it was more meaningful. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just always being around each other and shit like that. Even through experience being in the world, being around, you know, so-called friends every single day, eventually we got tired of each other. We would argue, fight, you know. And what makes you think it won't happen within brotherhood? Not saying that it's not supposed to. It's gonna happen. Why? Because it's gonna build up your character. It's gonna build up your experience. It's gonna build up your relationships. But not to the point of where you're it's becoming evil, man. You know what I'm saying? And what you do have, you gotta cherish it. You gotta appreciate your brothers that you have with you, man. You know, if you have one brother with you, two of you, you gotta appreciate that the Most High gave you somebody else with you, man. You're not trying to be that guy that's trying to be out there by himself or whatever the case may be. And some guys are like that, but if that's the way the Most High has it, that's the way it is. I can't argue and fight against that. You know, I do my part. You know, I will suggest ideas. Hey, let's go out. He don't want, or vice versa. Then that's just what it is. As long as we're doing the work. As long as we're going out there being sincere, we're treating each other with the utmost respect, man. You know? It says, now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, and be patient toward all men. Be patient toward the brothers, man. You know? Support the weak, because we're all on different levels in this thing. We're not all on the same level. You know what I'm saying? It says, see that none render evil for evil unto any man. That's right. Shouldn't be rendering evil unto brothers, man. Oh, well, he had an attitude with me, so I'm going to give him an attitude back. You know? Ain't going to be doing none of that shit, man. And I've seen it. I've experienced it personally. You know? And it's cool, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. I remember, but I ain't going to hold a grudge with a brother. Or with brothers that I've come across with them coming at me in a certain manner that I would never do that to. And maybe he didn't mean it in that manner. Maybe that's just his personality, and that's cool. You know, but if I do it, don't take it in an offensive way, because I can return it too. You know what I'm saying? I can play. It ain't no thing. But it's like in the work field, they say horseplaying is horseplaying is unacceptable. And it causes a lot of trouble, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a lot of that stuff could be eliminated easily by just giving each other space, man. You know, that way you don't want to be none of that rendering evil for evil. You know, grudging. You know, the bickering and biting, because Paul he experienced all that whenever he was going to these different churches and visiting the brothers out in Corinth in Asia Minor. You know? It says, see that none render evil for evil unto any man, but whoever follow that which is good, both among yourselves, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. And that's what we follow. They follow that good thing, which is what? The Holy Spirit, the Harakah Kodash, man. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And the Lord gave us a strict commandment about how we're supposed to be towards one another, man. Let me get some water real quick, brothers. You know, some guys, they bring in that worldly shit into the fold, man. Some brothers get real comfortable and they think they can treat the brothers the way they were treating their homeboys in the world. No, man, that's not the way it works. This is a whole new ground of work that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is laying down. He's laying down, he's building up men that are going to rule next, man. We're not in the time of playing. We're not in the time of none of that shit, man. We're in the time of war, spiritual warfare, man. While all these Edomites, these so-called white people are getting themselves ready to fight against the Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which they've been doing, you know, whether it be physically or spiritually, we're building ourselves up spiritually, man. Because it's where the spirit is what's going to triumph over the flesh. That's why you see like a lot of little guys. A big dude will step up to a little guy, but the guy has more fight in him, and will eventually drop that bigger guy because just because he's big in the flesh doesn't mean that he's big in the spirit, man. And that's what we're building each other up, man. The house of David. It says, Salaki, let me go back to 1 John 3 and 11. For this is the message that we heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. That's right, because Yahweh Shai gave the commandment already that we should love one another, man. What is love? Following the law, statutes, commandments, man. Each precept in here is a commandment. That's what the word precept means, a command. Okay? So the scriptures say not grudging one another, man. This is Galatians. Galatians 5 and 13. For brethren, you have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. Okay, so you have to serve one another with love, man. All right, with what is it called? Conviction, humbleness, meekness, willing to serve, man. You know, not willing to test a brother. You know, that's not what it's about, man. It says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, that thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And who's our neighbor? The brotherhood, man. Not these individual people that walk up and down here in our cities or our state, whatever the place you may be. Because the word neighbor goes back to the word brother. Not everybody is a brother, man. Just like Cain and Abel. Cain wasn't a brother. He killed his brother. He killed what you would call his brother. But Cain wasn't being a brother. So these people out here have the ability to kill us, man. They feed you lies, false doctrines, pre-teachings. Will try to commit adultery with your wife. There's a bunch of homosexuals out here, a bunch of faggots, you know, pedophiles, you know, people that are into like Satan worship, which Satan worship just goes back to narcissism. That all they do is worship themselves. They denounce the Most High. They don't believe that there's a God, there's a spirit, you know. It says, but if you bite and devour one another, take heed that you be not consumed one of another. Because that can happen. Why? Because you're always just bickering, you're always bickering back and forth with each other, man. Getting on each other's nerves. And that little problem can grow into something bigger, man. It says, but if you bite and devour one another, take heed that you be not consumed one of another. All right, and that's plain, man. That's what I believe. Brothers don't have to listen to me or whatever, but that's what I think that would de-escalate a lot of situations that are going on within camps, man. You brothers have big camps. Just break them down. You know? If you want to test anybody and see where they're really at, put them on their, get 2-3 brothers on by themselves, man. And you'll see. You'll see. You know, it's like in a job place. You got a lot of guys that like riding on other people's coattails or piggybacking off other workers because they put out, but they can't do it. Why? Because they're lazy or they're incompetent. They don't have the ability. All right. So the only way you're gonna find out is by putting them on their own. You giving them their responsibility to see, okay, what can you do? Show me what you can do. I believe that you're ready to be on your own. And a lot of times when you put somebody on their own, they're going to pick it up faster. Why? Because they have to learn it. They're forced to learn it, man. You know what I'm saying? It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because the flesh is we already know the flesh is the way it is, man. You know, it's irritated, agitated. You know, it's the bodies of the chains of darkness, man. The body of this death. These carnal bodies, they're nothing, man. Our mind, the mind is wicked above all things. Who can know it? You know what I'm saying? But only a spiritual man will understand these things. Everybody else don't understand nothing, man. All they understand is doing their own thing. Getting their own way. And you can't be that way with the brothers, man. You know? It says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would. You see? So going into the hand in hand with a brother, you know, you won't be able to do the things that you would, man. Why? Because the flesh, a brother may be more carnal than spiritual. The flesh is getting the best of him, man. Like I said, the flesh is easily irritated and agitated, man. The flesh is all about itself. The spirit is what wants to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. The flesh doesn't, man. It's contrary. We know that. This is Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Now you got a man that's spiritual, other man's carnal. They won't agree with each other, man. Eventually the spiritual man is going to see this man is too damn carnal. He has to separate himself from him. Or they're going to be bumping heads. They ain't agree with how they walking with each other, man. Or the carnal man, his decision making isn't fitting with the spiritual man's decision making. Or what he thinks is best. And the way you eliminate that is by separation, man. You know? Can two walk together except they be agreed? That's basically the same thing that is saying in Galatians, man. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. Do what? Serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Serving the brotherhood. Scriptures say, serve one another with love. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have those things, man. But if ye led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, right? Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such the like. And that can be found within brothers, man. Because Paul would go to the churches, man. He would witness a lot of this stuff that was going on. This is This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 20. For I fear lest then when I come, I shall not find you such as I would, and that I shall be found unto you such as you would not. Lest there be debates, envyings, wrath, strifes, backbitings, whisperings, swellings, tumults, and lest when I come again, and my God will humble me among you, and that I shall bewail many which have sinned already, and have not repented of the uncleanness, fornication, lasciviousness which they have committed. Because Paul was witnessing all this stuff going on within these churches, man. The church of Corinth. You know? There's no new thing underneath the sun. But Yahweh Shai did it perfectly. He sent them out by twos, man. He sent them out to do the work. You know? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 14. I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. You know? We've all been warned, man. You know, brothers that have been in this 10 years, you should be able to be like, hey, I'm going to start going out over here, and the brothers should honor that, but like, what men do you need? Well, I'm going to handpick, or however they decide to do it, man. You should be able to do that already, man. You know? It says, for though you have 10,000 instructors in Yahushua Mashiach, yet have you not many fathers, for in Yahushua Mashiach I have begotten you through the gospel. And through the gospel, it commands you to go onto the highways and the byways and to preach, man. Push his word. You know? Yahweh Shai, he had the 12, you know, and then he had other men, the 70. But that was to show you that how he was spreading the word, man, how he was breaking it down. And he was going to send them out. That eventually they were going to go out. Just like Apollos. Right? Apollos was out there. Then you had the other men that the apostles had encountered, and they said that he prophesied in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He was casting out devils, and they rebuked him for it and told him to follow him. But Yahweh Shai said, whoever is with us is not against us. Leave him alone. You know? You don't have to be in a camp like that big of a camp. If it's on your spirit to be out there on your own, man, that's just what it is. Now, you got certain brothers that don't think that way. They think you have to all be in one area, man, just so you can look at numbers. No, man. The Most High don't care about that. That's vanity, man. It says, wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me. For this cause have I sent unto you Timotheus, who is my beloved son and faithful in the Lord, who shall bring you into remembrance of the ways which it be in Yahushua Mashiach, as I teach everywhere in every church. Just like Timotheus did the same.